Toastmasters and guests, good evening. I would welcome everyone for the 834th meeting of Chennai Toastmasters Club. The mission of every Toastmasters Club is to provide positive and supportive learning experience such that the members empowered to improve the communication skills and leadership qualities, resulting in greater personality growth and self-confidence. Before moving to the meeting, I would like to brief on certain rules which have to be followed throughout the meet. Keep your mobile phones on silent mode. Do not talk about taboo topics such as sex, politics, and religion. Kindly sit in a silent atmosphere so that you can hear what the speaker is speaking. Kindly be on mute until it's your turn to speak. If it's your turn to speak, please unmute and talk. If you have any messages to be shared or conveyed, use the chat box below. If you want any assistance, please reach me out. With this, I hand over to our presiding officer, our distinguished Toastmaster, Venu Neelagandan. He is a jovial person, a purposeful Toastmaster, whose hobbies are painting and reading. He was past president of CTM, vice president of membership, and area director of C4. He is a pathway celebrity of 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's welcome our distinguished Toastmaster, Venu Neelagandan.
Good evening again. And I'd like to welcome you all to the CTM 834 meeting. So today I got the privilege to be the presiding officer. So as a presiding officer, I declare CTM meeting number 834 open. Today I learned a new lesson. As a Toastmaster, as in learners, we have to be ready for anything. Let it be learning, or sometimes to follow, sometimes to lead. Today, I got this opportunity. All of a sudden, I was asked to preside over. So I had to be ready, and I got this opportunity. So as a Toastmaster, as a learner, we need to do that. Every time, whenever you are getting an opportunity, don't run away. Just follow, get the opportunity, and snatch it and use it. So that's why we are learning every day, right? And we all know that change is inevitable, right? Every day we are facing a lot of changes. As sometimes we need to be the change agent. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see from others. So accordingly, today we are going to witness a lot of changes. One of the most important change we are going to witness, the change of XCOM. So we are going to have a new XCOM. So for that, we are going to have an installation ceremony. For that, we have a special person. I would say that this person I admire a lot. In a short span of time, only a few Toastmasters are utilizing the platform properly and getting all the benefits. Without any doubt, without a iota of doubt, I would say that this guy is utilizing it very properly. And he was our former Vice President Education, former President. Now he's taking the role of the Area Director, C1. So with all your applause, let me welcome Toastmaster Abhilas, the Area Director, who formally conduct the installation ceremony. Thank you, Abhilas.
All right, quick check. Am I audible? Can someone give me a thumbs up from the audience? Yeah, great. Thank you. A very warm good evening. Change of guard is something which all of us have to do, and now it is time for us to install our new set of officers at Chennai Toastmasters Club. I would now request the outgoing officers to please stand up. The Vice President Education Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. The Vice President Membership Toastmaster Deepak, he's there online. Vice President PR Toastmaster Tarun. The Secretary Toastmaster Vignesh, who is joining us online. Treasurer Toastmaster Naveen. And Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Vishnu, who is again online. I would like to thank each and every one of you for your excellent service to the club. At this time, all of you are hereby discharged from all of your duties and responsibilities. Congratulations and all the best. It is now time for us to install the new officers of Chennai Toastmasters Club. I will be calling them upon, briefly stating their key responsibilities and to remind them of the challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenge is to make our club one of the best in Toastmasters International. This will involve helping the members achieve their goals as well as leading the club to the president's distinguished status this coming year. I shall ask each officer to hold the gavel as a symbol of leadership as I briefly describe their roles and responsibilities. Will the new officer team please come forward and form a line, beginning with the Sergeant at Arms, our Treasurer, our Secretary who is online, our Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Kartika again online, thank you. Our Vice President Membership, Toastmaster Sharath. Vice President Education and President. Palniswamy said you come here. Please. Yeah, thank you. I will now read out the key responsibilities for each officer, beginning with the Sergeant at Arms. Toastmaster Palanichami, as Sergeant at Arms, you are in charge of arranging the meeting location, maintaining the club equipment, ensuring that adequate club supplies are available, to set up the room before the meeting begins, be it physical or virtual, make sure that all the relevant charts and boards are displayed, attend to special equipment needs, open the meeting, and help the president make sure the meeting begins on time. Toastmaster Palanichami, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. Please pass the gavel on to our treasurer, Toastmaster Pooja. Toastmaster Pooja, as treasurer, you keep financial records and prepare the club budget, announce when it is time for members to pay their dues, explain the due structure to members, collect dues, and work with the secretary to ensure that the club submits the dues promptly to Toastmasters International World Headquarters. Toastmaster Pooja, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability? Thank you. Please pass on the gavel to our secretary since he's online. Toastmaster Satish. I'm unable to hear Toastmaster Satish.
Yeah, I'm here, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Satish, as secretary, you maintain an accurate membership roster and attendance, submit the new club officer list to Toastmasters International by June 30, work with the treasurer to ensure that new member applications and dues get to Toastmasters International World Headquarters as soon as possible, work with the treasurer to submit your club's renewal dues to Toastmasters, and provide the club with the minutes of each meeting. Toastmaster Satish, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will, sir.
Thank you. I now request the Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Kartika, to please acknowledge her presence.
Hello.
Thank you. Toastmaster Kartika, as Vice President of Public Relations, you attract visitors to the club through free publicity. Use a variety of means to promote the club in the community. Enlist your fellow members in PR activities and provide them with promotional materials and ideas for inviting guests. Regularly recognize member achievements with methods such as announcements, newsletters, mails, and articles. Toastmaster Kartika, as the Vice President of Public Relations, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. I now pass on the gavel to our Vice President membership. Toastmaster Sharad. Toastmaster Sharad, as Vice President membership, you lead the club's membership building efforts to achieve the membership goal of 8 new members. While the Vice President of Public Relations motivates people to visit your club, you motivate the current members to invite guests. You promptly give new member applications and dues to the secretary and treasurer. You personally greet guests and provide them with gift packets, including membership applications. Make sure each guest hears about the benefit of Toastmasters and gets a personal invitation to become a member. And represent your club at area council meetings. Toastmaster Sharad, as Vice President membership, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Please pass the gavel to the Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Naveen Raj. Toastmaster Naveen Raj, as Vice President Education, you gain commitments from members to set educational goals for themselves. Assure that club members are aware of the schedule of meeting roles. Plan meetings that will assist members in meeting their goals. Work with club members to keep meetings fun and well run. Work with your members to ensure that they submit their applications for education awards promptly. Provide for educational topics at club meetings, such as those from the Successful Club series and Better Speaker series. Represent your club at the area, division, and district council meetings. And as the second highest ranking officer, preside over the meeting when the president is absent. Toastmaster Naveen, as Vice President Education, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Please pass the gavel to the President, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, as President of Chennai Toastmasters Club, you are the Chief Executive Officer. The gavel is a symbol of leadership, which is given to you in view of the post you hold. Thus, you preside at all club meetings and all meetings of the club executive committee. It is your challenge to see that this club adds new members and meets the needs of its current members to achieve their communication and leadership goals. You establish a club climate that is supportive, stimulating, and rewarding to its members. You realize that among the resources available to you are your fellow club members, your club officers team, your club officer handbook, I, the area director, the division director, our district 120 materials, and all other district officers. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, you hold the gavel as a symbol of the power and authority that your club has given you for your term of office. I am confident you will use it wisely and with restraint. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, as a member of Chennai Toastmasters, as well as its leader, will you work with your executive team and club members to make Chennai Toastmasters Club a President's Distinguished Club this year?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. I now request all our club members to please arise. Switch to gallery, no? Members of Chennai Toastmasters, your officer team has just pledged to serve this club to the best of its ability, to be the best Toastmasters club possible, and to meet the needs of all its members. Your club will need active participation from each and every one of you. Do you all, as members, pledge to work together with your officer team to make Chennai Toastmasters Club the finest Toastmasters club it can possibly be? Thank you. By the authority vested in me as your area director, it is now my sincere pleasure to declare these Toastmasters officers installed in their respective club offices. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to the Chennai Toastmasters Club Executive Committee for July to December 2022. Thank you. I now request our newly elected president, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, to please address the club.
Good evening, one and all. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I'm very, very glad to be installed today by our very own Toastmaster from our club, our area director of C1, Toastmaster Abhilash. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhilash. So I didn't prepare any speech here, but I just want to express what I feel now and what's my journey just in Toastmasters. It all started in 2014, where I joined as a Toastmaster. I was keep renewing my membership for 2 years, but I was not active at all. I think at once I met DTM Venu. He was the president at that time. He gave me a very good advice that why do you waste money? When you get into membership, you make good use of this forum. Keep attending meetings regularly. Don't waste even one meeting, and don't just come and sit as an observer. You take some roles and improve your skills. But you know what? I took only the first line. Why do you waste money? So I didn't renew my membership after that. I was idle for some time. And then again, during 2020, when there was a COVID, I reached out to Toastmaster Rekha. I said, I want to renew my membership. And that's the first time she connected me with Toastmaster Abhilash. I never knew I'm going to hold his number so long and he will be a good friend for me. And in that time, it's almost 2 years since that. So after that, everything changed. So I asked DTM Venu to be my mentor. He initially hesitated and then said, but he knows I need a push. I need little more push to take up any roles. So he pushed me into getting into prepared speeches, contests, and even he pushed me to take this roles, each XCOM roles. So without his push, I wouldn't even tried it actually. So where I am standing is because of my mentor, DTM Venu. So it all went that way. Gradually, I took all these roles, VPPR, VP, and now this role. And if you watch closely, I'm following footsteps of two important people in this club. As one is Toastmaster Abhilash, and then Toastmaster Abhirami. I literally follow their footsteps. So each time when I succeed if I'm succeeding Abhirami, and she gives a transition to me in each roles, including this current role. So I'm very, very honored. I'm very happy that because it's almost like I believe I'm 2 decades elder to them, but they are in experience wise, in the skill wise, I see they are far more experienced than me. And what I learn a lot from them. More than I say, I admire these two people, Abhilash and Abhirami, and more so Abhilash. To be honest, I'm giving it in a very, very subtle manner. To be honest, I'm jealous of them because I should have been like this 20 years before. So I would have been a different Lakshmi Narayanan now. But I'm better not late. I still learn some more from them. So, and the next very important person I want to owe all this respect, I want all thanks to is my mentor, DTM Venu. So it's always push. He knows where to push me, and I've been bothering him for all the roles. Though he's a mentor for me, I keep asking all questions. He is the one of the person like Venu, DTM Venu, Abhilash and Abhirami. I never send any message before calling. I just call them first. So that's that's the rapport I maintain. I know I'm bothering them, but so they won't mind it much. They're helping me out throughout these roles. So without their support, I couldn't have been reached here. I'm still believe they are going to give this support, because especially Abhilash and Abhiram, they set a benchmark for this club. So don't try, I'm trying to praise you so much, because I know how the club was before, how it's been during the lockdown time. It's a very challenging time. And they've been very consistent in delivering, taking care of the responsibility and delivering for this club, because Chennai Toastmaster Club has a reputation all along, and that has, though it has been started from our very own DTM Nina ma'am, Abraham Zakaria. It's not just them. Some even the people who succeed, this has to maintain that reputation, and Abhilash has maintained that very well. Abhiram has done that very well, and best part is, even after becoming completing his presidency term, he still continues to support this club like any other Toastmasters member. And I'm taking that as a benchmark. So it's not just for me, for whoever is going to succeed further. And thank you, Abhilash, Abhirami, and DTM Venu for all the support he gave. And before, I just want to quickly go through the past XCOM and this XCOM before I wind up. I don't want to take too much time. So coming to the past XCOM, it's our Sergeant at Arms Vishnu, Secretary Vignesh. Somehow I see whenever they take a responsibility, they take it seriously. They come out with creative and innovation. Somewhat I see Vishnu like, I don't know, I want to compare him with Gautam Vasudevan Menon movies actor. Like Vishnu always looks like that. Vignesh like a Vetrimaran movie actor. They are totally different. I know we both are pals even before friends before being this club. And so also followed by them, our Tarun, the VPPR, who is the man behind creating all the posters. Thing. He was one of the. I just wanted to meet his parents, because how can someone bring up a kid like this, who is so humble and who is so respectful? I know to whomsoever he talks with. He's not. He doesn't act that way. I don't mean other members, but very specifically, I wanted to meet his parents and say that to him. So please continue to be like that. And then our VPM Deepak, we hardly see him in the meetings, but whenever he's there, he's creating an impact. And even without meetings, he gives a lot of support, background support thing, be it the milestone meeting and wherever he is helping us in even finding this meeting venues, which is not known to people in the regular meeting. So he is a pillar for all, not just VPM, he's an XCOM member as well. And then our president, our past president, Abhirami. Though again, we don't see her in the physical meeting. She's a virtual presence is there in all the meetings. So coming back to the current team, I believe we have a very strong team. Start from the Sergeant at Arms Palanisamy. You will always, I'm sure you'll get a very smiling beginning of in all the Toastmasters meeting. Is a ever smiling person. Then the Secretary Satish, thanks for contesting and taking up this role. I wish you'll learn more through it. And our treasurer Pooja for taking up this, taking time to come all over here. Our VPPR Kartika, we started seeing her posters, so we can expect more such posters. And very importantly, our VPM Sarath, we know what he is. He should have been here long time back. So somehow he filled in the gap, and I hope there's a lot of potential we have. When I mentioned about Abhilash, there's some similar personality I see Sarath and even Naveen. Naveen does a lot of background work. You can see totally different VP role, what I was doing in the past and what he's going to do further. So with that, I just want to say thanks to each and every one of you. I'll do my best to, as I mentioned, Abhilash set a benchmark. I'll try to do the reach the benchmark, because there's one thing being in a technical side. I will say that we used to have a legacy software in our company. Like Intel is used, it's a 40 years old software. Intel is still using those softwares for manufacturing. And though they manufacture high-tech chips, they still use this software for production. I was asking one person, why do you go use a legacy software? Why don't you upgrade to the new software? The thing they said is that when things go fine, we don't want to experiment it. Our whole idea, goal is to create a technology breakthrough in the chips we are going to manufacture, not in the process we follow. The whole process is going good. We don't want to disturb it. We're just going to clone the same process into the new fabrication that they call it. Similarly, so far, whatever is benchmark set by Abhilash is going good. So I will
at least try to meet that and get the golden gavel at the next year. And wherever needed, I'll have our own improvements. We have a good team here. And now, with that, I say I want to thank each and every one of you once again. Thank you. And over to you, is it, Presiding Officer. Okay. Okay. So sorry, I forgot that. So I'm taking presiding from now on. So now it's time to invite our Toastmaster of the day, our Toastmaster, Madam Geeta. We all know her, so she's been a very enthusiastic reader, a passionate Toastmaster, a past secretary, and she is helping us also in speech therapy program. I want to mention it here. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Geeta.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, and good evening to one and all present in the online meeting and the physical meeting as well. My hearty congratulations to Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana and his team. I'm sure you're all going to take the flags of CTM a notch higher. So wishing you all the best. So here I would like to mention that you all have treaded a path towards the unknown, and I'm sure you're going to do a great wonder. I also, congratulate Toastmaster Abhilash, who is also our area director, for treading into the unknown path. So I wish you all a great success. So as we all know, our CTM, Chennai Toastmasters Club, has been hosting this hybrid meeting from quite some time. So it's like, I was a bit upset about with myself just a few days back, maybe 2 or 3 days ago. So I just wanted to know that why is it that I'm not able to make up to the meeting, physical meeting? Why is it that it's important for me to attend the meetings in an online way? So this question kept nagging me quite some time. So I had to give myself a little time to ask myself, what exactly do I want for? So the one thing that I realized was I was resisting the change. I was resisting to go into an area, a place which was little farther from my place, which was not known to me. And yeah, that's exactly when Toastmaster Naveen sent me a message. Will you take up as the Toastmaster of the day? So even before I accepted him, I knew what the theme was going to be. So the theme is change is inevitable, because these changes, they keep happening in our lives. We see these changes happening all the time. And this is a beautiful quote that if at all there is anything constant, it is the change. Or I should put it in a different way, the quote is, the only thing that is constant is the change. Yes, so dear fellow Toastmasters, with this as a theme, let me tell you all that, is there anything that we can do with all the changes that are happening around us? Our lives are changing, people are changing, times are changing, technology is changing, everything, the universe is changing, everything that we see around us is changing. Is there anything we can do with the changes that are happening around us? I'm sure your answer is no. While there is nothing that can be done, what we can do is, what is within our limit is that we can accept the change, embrace the change. So this is a beautiful quote again, which I could love to share with you. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. So I realized that by not changing, by not moving to the physical setup, I was actually obstructing my growth. So when I move to the physical setup, I'm in front of a real audience, and I would exactly know, or I would know where exactly I'm standing with these 2 years of the online kind of a surrounding. I'm sure I'm going to make it up in the next physical meeting. But then here is a question. When we see all of these changes happening around us, for example, we see a bird leaving its comfort zone and flying, a caterpillar going through a metamorphosis, we see a dormant seed waking up after the snow melts. When we see all of this happening, why is it difficult for us to undergo this metamorphosis? What is it that is stopping us from undergoing the change? As you ponder over this question, it's time for me to invite the general evaluator for today's meeting. So the general evaluator for today's meeting is Distinguished Toastmaster Neena John. Distinguished Toastmaster Neena John is a charter member of the Chennai Toastmasters Club, and she's also the first area division and district governor of Tamil Nadu. She has also been the former chief judge, District 82, and she's currently the mentor pool chair of District 120. With these few words, let me invite distinguished Toastmaster Neena John to brief her objectives as the general evaluator for today's meeting. Over to you, Neena, ma'am.
So much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, Madam Geeta Shroff, and as a very warm welcome to the entire new XCOM. A very warm welcome to all the guests that are here. And I would like to say we're talking about Toastmasters, the same structure that we have in every meeting across all countries in the world. Table topics, well, we have prepared speeches, table topics and evaluations. But more importantly, we also have a general evaluator. The purpose of the general evaluator is to maintain a quality check. So the idea is, how can we improve every meeting and make it better each time? So that's what the general evaluator is going to look at. How do we do all the different things? There are two different teams, one of which is the timer, our counter, and grammarian team. So for our timer for today is our ever enthusiastic Toastmaster Naveen. Toastmaster Naveen, can you please tell us about your role for today?
Fellow Toastmasters and friends, as a timer, my role is to remind all speakers how much time they spent on their speech so that we will run this meeting on time. For prepared speeches, time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. Then I will show the green card at 5th minute and yellow card at 6th minute. 7th minute, I will show the red card until the speaker finishes his or her speech. For table topics, time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. Then I will show the green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, red card at 2 minutes, and I will show the red card while the speaker complete his or her speech. And for the evaluation, time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. I will show the green card at 2 minutes and yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, red card at 3rd minute. And I will, at the end of the meeting, I will submit my timer report while called upon by the general evaluator. Now I am handovering the stage to general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Neena John.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naveen. We move on to our next role player, our counter, that is Toastmaster Kalvat, who's an HR professional. Toastmaster Kalvat, may we have your roles and responsibilities defined, please?
Thank you for the introduction, DTM. Happy to see you all. Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today, I'm just going to play the role of a counter. We would have actually learned how to read, speak, and write during our schools or colleges. But only the place you can learn how to listen is actually our Toastmaster. This role helps us to improve our observational and listening skill. The purpose of the counter is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as a clutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, and you know. Sounds may be her. I will note on all the usages when the speakers speak, and I will share my report when called upon the general evaluator. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster. DDM.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalvat. We move on now to our grammarian. Our grammarian for today, Toastmaster Guru, has been a past president of CTM and is a wonderful resource for today's program. May I request Toastmaster Guru to let us have his roles and responsibilities defined clearly. Over to you, Toastmaster Guru.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Very good evening to all of you. If Toastmasters Club is a school or a college, then grammarian, role of grammarian is like an English teacher or an English professor. Yes, I really mean it. The role of English teacher is to teach the students how to deliver, how to speak, and to note down the correct usages and not so correct usages. So like that, I will note down the correct usages as well as not so good usages, and I will submit my report. And at the same time, it is my responsibility to introduce a word of the day for today's meeting. The word of the day is extempore. As a name itself suggests, it's out of the moment or without notes. It came on the out of the moment only. That is without notes. While I was going through some notes, I found that word. So extempore is the word of the day. I request everyone to use the word of the day. Usages, questions are those extempored from the floor. So this is how the word should be used. So I will submit my report at the end when general evaluator asked me to submit the report. Now over to you, general evaluator. Thank you.
Toastmaster Guru. So today we have a mix of all the three. We've got extempore speeches, we've got prepared speeches, we've got evaluation by all of these, we've got listening skills, all of these evaluated by the different role players, and they will be doing their job. When each individual speaker presents their project, there will be another Toastmaster to evaluate those, and that second team will come on later during the meeting. Meanwhile, let me hand it back to our Toastmaster of the day, Madam Toastmaster Geeta Shroff.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Neena. Yes, it's now time for me to invite the court master. Let me invite Toastmaster Ramani.
Yeah, ma'am.
Toastmaster Ramani will share a quote and enlighten us.
Good
Yes,
evening to
Toastmaster
all.
Ramani.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Good evening to all. Quote of the day: time is money. Time is money means time is precious and priceless. We use it for earning money, but what's important to understand is that we cannot use money to get our time lost back, to get our lost time back. Because time is most valuable than money. Time is most valuable than money or any other thing in the world. Millions of people believe in this and remains it's a fact. It's because once you lose time, you will never get it back, not even a second of it. So why time is most important in our life? It helps us to make a good habit of organizing and structuring in our daily activities. So time is money, it's a proven fact. We must use it efficiently and effectively. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Geeta ma'am.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ramani. I now invite our idiom master, Toastmaster Rishi Prasad, to share an idiom with all of us. Over to you, Toastmaster Rishi Prasad.
Good evening, everyone. Today's idiom is cool as a cucumber. It means calm and composed, not showing any emotions and having great self-control. So the uses of this idiom is, even though the run rate was 10 per hour, he was cool as a cucumber. So this idiom originated on the assumption that the inside of the cucumber is always cooler than the air outside. So its usage dates back to 1615. Francis Beaumont used this idiom in his play Cupid's Revenge. That's idiom for the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. So that was a beautiful idiom again. So we had Toastmaster Ramani, who told us that time is money. In a way, she told us that we need to value our time and be organized. And whereas we had Toastmaster again, idiom master, who told us that we need to remain calm from within. So as calm, as cool as the cucumber that is from within. It's now time for us to move to the prepared speech session. But before that, let me come back to the question which I had asked you earlier. So my question to you was, why is it that most of us find ourselves resisting the change? Would somebody like to enlighten on this?
Hello, ma'am. This is Santosh.
Hello, Santosh.
Hey. Good evening and good afternoon. Good evening to everyone. And I just had a note of thanks for all of you for having me here, and to Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, who had helped me join the Toastmasters Club. So thank you again for the opportunity. And
Can we come back to our question,
yeah.
Toastmasters?
So yes. So quickly, I can tell you why most of us, it's not really about resisting change. It's sort of a rhythm which gets inbuilt into our brain and kind of circulates into our body. And therefore, our mind is kind of preparing a template for a specific way of understanding, reacting, and then responding. Therefore, when suddenly something new happens, we try to tag it as something which is not suited to us, something which is so foreign to us, and therefore we end up not doing anything else but to resist it initially. But with a period of time, as again the recirculation of all these events happen, as the brain tries to kind of rearrange the kind of the circadian rhythm, our body and mind again gets back to accepting the new habit or the change, and then life goes on like that.
So that was really wonderful on your part. This is exactly what happens with us. We are so much accustomed to our familiar situations that it's very difficult for us to tread into an unknown path. We like to always move in a known path because we know what are the ups and downs, what are the twists and turns we will be expecting, and we would have already decided that how exactly we would be going about with these twists, turns, ups and downs in our lives. But many times what I have noticed is we still stick to the same kind of a rhythm, like as you said, even when we are very uncomfortable, or I can say even when we are not really comfortable, we still like to stay in the same kind of a situation. But this is really not good for us. It is not conducive for our mental, physical, or emotional health. So what we need to do is we should take an effort to tread into the path of unknown, because when you tread into the path of unknown, it gives you more opportunities, and more opportunities means living your life, growing and living your life to the fullest of your potential. So I'll now move on to the prepared speech session. As DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster Nina John said, we have these 3 sessions here. One is the prepared speech session, followed by the table topic session, and therein, after which we will have the evaluation session, wherein our evaluators, experienced Toastmasters, will give instant feedback to our fellow Toastmasters who have presented their prepared speeches. So let me move on to our first speaker. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Shruti. She's a final year student of computer science, and she loves dancing. In fact, I should say that she's a Bharatanatyam and Kathak dancer, and she's also interested in linguistics and literature. So with these, before I invite Toastmaster Shruti, let me invite her evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Venu, to read out the speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, one and all, and special good evening to my target speaker. Today, Toastmaster Shruti is going to deliver her project number 3 from level 1, voice, vocal variety and body language. The project objectives of this speech is for the members to practice voice modulation as well as body language to enhance her message. So timer, please note that time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Shruti. Back to you, Tia Modi.
Hello, Toastmaster Geeta ma'am, I think you're on mute. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. So, why, Toastmaster Shruti? Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Geeta ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for a warm welcome. So a very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and guests. The other day, I was on call with my cousin, elder cousin, Tarun. He moved to the US after a month after he was born. So he finds it hard to speak in Telugu. So we usually speak in English. It was a casual conversation. We were speaking about the food that was served the previous night at a party he attended. The conversation was very normal. It goes like this. I asked, so how was the party last night? And he replied, so good. It was great, actually. Pretty much the food that was served was like heart attack in a meal. And I replied, uh, like, what did they serve? He said, so many. There were bagels, there were pasta, naans, and soup, and like different kinds of vegan food and stuffed in it, and so many brownies and desserts, blah, blah, blah. After a hour long of conversation about delicious food, I was rethinking about the food and the conversation, and I realized that we use the word like a lot. We generally use it in extempore. I personally use it every day with my friends, family, cousins, strangers, and even in Toastmasters. So, like, why? When we hear someone use the word like a lot, it's so hard on ears and with such air of unfinished, insecure, and even dimness. We we often form an opinion and which is mostly associated with stupidity or being underconfident. So being underconfident. And the word, did you know that like is the most overused and most abused word in the English language? Fascinatingly, Americans do this a lot. The word is so versatile that it can be used in almost every sentence. So like, why? To go to the origin. And if we consider that I'm sorry, I'm confused. So now, if you go to the origins of the word, now to an old English speaker, the word is Gaelic, which means within the body. That meant similar to, which over the time, the word Gaelic shortened to lick, and it became like that we use today. So the word reached its popularity, or we can say the word reached its national consciousness by the beatniks who in the 1950s and early 1960s. So who were the beatniks, you ask? They are the people who were a part of social movement uh, which stressed self-artistic expression. The beat generation was it is a literary movement by uh, the group of authors which were whose work mostly influenced American culture in the 1950s and 60s. And they used the word as in like, wow, as a sign of being cool. So like isn't just a filler word. It has its traditional uses. For example, I like the smell of what's cooking, as in a verb. I like the taste, like I like this taste, or this tastes like it is made in a restaurant, as a preposition. And then there are quotative likes as a subject of scorn. For example, he made dinner for me last night and I was like, it's delicious. So there are ways to do it more grammatically, and people usually say language is random, and language is never almost random, because we can't just stick that like in every sentence or everywhere. For example, if I say, for example, if I say, what is it? Oh my God, that the person, look at the boy over there, he's wearing a hat and he's like 10. That sounds usual. But if I say, if someone asks me, how old is your brother? And if I say, he's like 25, that's not usual. And if I say my grandma, like she died, that's strange to hear. So there are patterns and there are ways to do it more grammatically, because it gives a familiarity with the person you're talking to. Because we are not without compromising the complete accuracy. because we are not saying, we are not conveying what was exactly said, but the feeling of what was said. So on the contrary, the research found that people who use the word like a lot are more thoughtful and are more aware of themselves. So this is a judgy thing, but it's really not helpful. It's natural, but it's really not helpful. Thank you. Feels like my first icebreaker speech again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shruti. That was really wonderful. I now know that I introduced you correctly when I said that you're interested in language and linguistics. It was like, I'm sorry, I used it again. So we now know that we can use like as a verb, as a preposition. Sometimes people can judge you by the way you use your likes and all of that. So that was really an enlightening and an entertaining speech also, I should really say. So I'll now move on to our second speaker. Our second speaker for today's speaker is Toastmaster Sharath. So to tell you all a few words about him, he is a postgraduate research scholar of IIT Madras, and his hobbies are exercising and reading. And let me add a point now that he's also taken up as a vice president membership for this term. So with these few words, let me, before I invite Toastmaster Sharath, let me invite his evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Partha Sarathi, to read out his speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Geeta. Good evening, Toastmasters of Chennai Toastmasters Club and guests. It's great to be back to Chennai Toastmasters because it's like my elder brother's club, another club. That's where we started learning from in Toastmasters. And congratulations to the XCOM for a wonderful year ahead. Today's speaker is having a speech from the project Persuasive Speaking. The path is Presentation Mastery Level 3. The purpose of the project is for the member to understand the type of persuasive speeches and deliver a persuasive speech at a club meeting. The time will be 5 to 7 minutes. Back to the Toastmaster.
It's now time for me to invite Toastmaster Sharath. Toastmaster Sharath, a valuable choice, a valuable vehicle. A valuable vehicle, Toastmaster Sharath.
Imagine you won a race winning a crores of people and you got a gift. While opening the gift box, you see a valuable vehicle with distinguishing features, a high quality camera with a lot of sensors and a movable steering with a lot of features. And you feel so much ecstatic and blissful on looking at the vehicle. But as days passed, you forgot about its existence. You didn't even took care of it. You didn't even do a single service. You simply put fuel and keep on using it. And as days passed and years passed, the vehicle started giving trouble. It initially had a starting problem, and then it had a problem in its sensors. And now you realize you don't have any other vehicle. You go to the mechanic and beg the mechanic, "Oh sir, please help me. I don't have any other vehicle." And the mechanic says, "My dear friend, even if you give me millions of money, I can't do anything. You should have maintained it before." And finally, you lost that vehicle. Toastmaster of the day, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, our human body is a valuable vehicle we have to travel through this experience called life. To take care of it is our responsibility. It's not a choice. Are we taking care of it? Let me tell a small story. Once upon a time, there was a man. This man worked hard, very hard. He spent all of his time gaining money. And this man didn't find any time to take care of his body. And years passed, this man became the wealthiest man in his whole country. And is now ready to enjoy his retirement life. What happened was totally unexpected.
One day, while this man was lying in his bed, the grandchild came near him and said, "Hey, Tata, I hate you so much. You eat lot of chocolates without giving to me daily. And you also don't come to play with me. You're always sleeping in your bed." Overhearing this conversation, the grandma, the wife of the man, couldn't control her words, came near the child and said, "Kana, Grandpa is having a lot of love with you, but he's having a lot of illness, and the chocolates that he's eating is not chocolate, it's medicine you can't have." The old man was lying in his bed, hearing all these conversations and having tears in his eyes. After a few days, the old man got a heart. After spending crores of money, he passed away. We can see the eyes of the old man still opened, longing to play with his grandchild and spend more time with his family. My dear friends, this is the story of our future generation. We all run behind wealth, forgetting our health, and later we spend our wealth to get back our health, but very few of them will get a second chance. As per World Health Organization report, around 3.2 millions of deaths occur due to physical inactivity. 6% of heart disease, 7.2% of type 2 diabetes, and 10% of colon and breast cancer are directly related with physical inactivity. Apart from saving us in longevity, it has n number of benefits. Let me tell a few. It releases cortisol, which controls our fear. It releases dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter of drive. It releases serotonin, which regulates happiness. It releases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which have the ability to repair the damaged cells. And it amplifies our body and electrify our focus. And I can give a lot of lists. Just to tell a personal example, I will show a photograph. The person you are seeing in the photograph is a chubby, nice guy with a full of fat in his body. It's none other than me before doing exercise. I was a kind of fearful guy with not even having a single confidence. It was in my 9th standard. And that's when I came to know about exercise from my area friend. And I started doing exercise exactly at that time. I remember when I was doing my first set of push-ups, at the second count, my whole body got vibrated and I fell down. I couldn't even cross, but I still kept on going, continuing. And the 2 push-ups became 5 push-ups, 5 push-ups became 10 push-ups, 10 became 25. And I have done maximum of 125 push-ups in totally. And daily, currently, I'm doing 200 push-ups for less than 20 minutes for the past 4 to 5 years. And that's the reason for the physique which I'm having now. Many people will not believe when I say I'm not going to gym. That's the real reason. And number 2, in my life, I've experienced whenever I feel some kind of negative emotions or fear or something, my only drug is doing exercise, listening to motivational tape. After doing that, I feel refreshed and replenished after completing my exercise. And I understand doing exercise will not only help our body, it also shape our mind, heart, and soul. After giving lot of data, telling my own personal experience, still many of you say, I am busy, I don't have time. I'm not asking you to go to gym and build some muscles and become a bodybuilder. What I'm requesting you is at least spend 20 minutes of your time in doing some kind of exercise. It can be push-ups, pull-ups, walking, jogging, skipping, whatever it is which you can spend just for 20 minutes. Spending 20 minutes of your time in a day will save your life. The race which we all won is the life birth we got. And the gift that we got is the valuable vehicle, that is our body. And the service that you can do to that vehicle is by doing this exercise. My dear friends, let us spend at least 20 minutes of our day to make our body strong and fit, to be a healthy individual, and to make this world a better place. Will you? Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sarath. That was really a wonderful, persuasive speech, I should say. We were totally overwhelmed when we heard the story, and we had a beautiful takeaway from your speech. So that was very beautiful on you. Thank you so much once again. Friends, with this, we come to the end of our prepared speech session. It's now time for us to move on to the table topic session, which is again an impromptu section. But before that, let me ask you yet another reason why we all resist change. One is we just discussed that we are so much accustomed to the familiarity that we want to be in the familiar situations, and we really get scared to tread the unknown path because we always feel that a known devil is better than the unknown, which is very wrong. But then what again is the next reason? What could be the next reason that we resist change? Is anyone willing to give your input?
Hi, ma'am. This is Santosh again. So one of the reason I could think of is fear of failure.
So that's really wonderful. It's the fear of failure which does not allow us to accept change, because we always feel that when I can do something like this, why would I change my path and do something else? Because again, it comes to the same point that the result is unknown to me. And then thank you so much, Toastmaster Santosh. And then yet another reason we can say is the change is not really very easy. It is painful, it is stressful, and it takes a lot of time. So that is one reason why we don't push ourselves from the comfort zone. We like to remain in the comfort zone rather than treading a new path or going to venture into a new situation. But if you were to understand that even a diamond, it had to go through a lot of stress. Only then it had handled the stress exceptionally well. Only then it has come to this stage. It was a coal earlier. So if we need, only when we handle stress, only when we go through this painful process, we will grow in our life. So it is very important for us to embrace change, accept the pain, accept the stress that comes with it, so that we can grow and live our life to the fullest potential. It's now time for me to introduce our table topic speaker. He's Toastmaster Shrikant Kutikrishnan, to tell you all a few words about Toastmaster Shrikant Kutikrishnan. Toastmaster Shrikant Kutikrishnan is a very senior Toastmaster to the Chennai Toastmasters Club, and he works with railways, and he aspires to become a motivational speaker. In fact, I can tell you that he is already on his journey to become a motivational speaker. For those of you who have heard him giving the evaluations to the prepared speakers will totally agree with me. And for those, and all those of you who haven't heard him giving the evaluations, probably you should listen to his evaluations and you will know why I'm saying so. So with these few words, let me hand over the control to Toastmaster Shrikant Kutikrishnan.
Thank you very much, Toastmasters of the day. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, now we are entering the most interesting and the fun part of today's meeting, called the table topics. Let me just run through the entire way how a table topic speaker has to handle. You need to speak for a minimum of 1 minute. This is for the guest. You have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute, and you can go on speaking up to 2 minutes 30 seconds. So 2 minutes 30 seconds is your time limit, beyond which you will not be eligible to be voted as the best TT speaker. So 1 minute up to 2 minutes 30 seconds. 1 minute you qualify to be a candidate for the best TT speaker. Let me give you, we have a lot of champion speakers in today's meeting, CTM speakers, and a quick tip for all the guests who have joined us. I'll be giving you very simple topics, and how you handle that is the first thought that comes into your mind when you hear the topic, just hold on to that and start speaking. Don't allow your mind to get any other second thought and decide what would be better, because usually your intuition could be the best choice. So whatever your mind tells you when you hear the topic, grab onto that, concentrate and keep speaking. And most of the time, all that you'll be speaking is from your life experience. So this is how you're going to handle the table topic. It's going to be really fun. And now today, to start the table topic session, and who better than our area director, who's a champion speaker, Toastmaster Abhilash. I always admire for his eagerness and the promptness by which he gathers his thoughts and gives a very interesting speech in less than a few seconds when he hears the topic. Can I request our area director, Toastmaster Abhilash, to please take up the first topic.
Yes, sir. Toastmaster Shrikant.
Good afternoon and congratulations to you, Abhilash.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. God bless you. So here's your quote. This is said by the famous Wayne W. Dyer. I just read him this morning. He says, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. I repeat, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhilash.
Thank you so much. And a very warm good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. When you look at a thing in a way, there's a preconceived notion that you get. All right. Let me, for a want of an example, Toastmaster Naveen, could you pass me your water bottle? All right. So online and offline. So let me come here closer also. So how will you describe this water bottle, anyone? Half full. Anyone else? Half empty. So these are the responses I'm receiving, half full or half empty. Online, anyone, how are you going to describe this bottle? Anyone online?
This is Santosh, Toastmaster.
Black glass
so,
bottle.
I would just.
So thank you. So let me now ask you, those of you who said half full, half empty and all, right? Can I describe this as half filled with water and half filled with air? In that case, it is going to be full, right? So that is what I'm trying to tell you. Never go into anything with a preconceived notion. Always have an open mind. That is very important. Let me tell you, all of us somehow, irrespective of this, somehow we form a preconceived judgment and then we go. But that is very important that we should not do that, because what you're expecting might be entirely different. Okay. So let me share one small story quickly. When I came into Toastmasters, I expected something different. I expected people will be very posh, very public speakers, and I was very afraid. That was a preconceived notion I had. But when I actually came in, it was a very encouraging atmosphere. People encouraged me to talk. They came in, they tried to strike conversations, and they made sure I was comfortable. So that is what I tell you. Never go in with a preconceived notion. Always look at things with an open mind. Don't ask me how I fared in my first table topic session. That will be for the next round, probably. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abhilash. My stand of you being a champion speaker has been vindicated. Thank you very much. A very prompt and thought-provoking notion that you have put across. A bottle half with water and half with air is always a full bottle. Thank you very much for that brilliant effort. Can we have Toastmaster Nanda, again a champion speaker from CTM? Toastmaster Nanda, can we have you?
Yes, table topic master. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Toastmaster Nanda, here's your quote. Change your life by changing your thoughts. I repeat, change your life by changing your thoughts. Over to you, Toastmaster Nanda.
So I would like to ask you one question. How many of you want to go to paradise? Please raise your hands. Paradise. Okay. Online speakers, online attendees? Paradise? Nice. This is the next question. How many of you want to die? How many of you want to die? Neena ma'am? Okay. Now, you want to go to paradise, but you don't want to die. How can that happen? Only if you die, you can go to paradise, right? Right? So this is our perception. So in life, we think that two different thoughts are actually different. So, but actually they are interconnected. So one thought will obviously influence other thought. So we come to these kind of situations very often in life. So we go to a place with a conceived notion thinking that, oh, this is how this is going to be. But we fail to think from different perception. I'll give you one example. As soon as I completed my engineering, I thought that I would get placed in a great company and have work in an AC room filled with a lot of good devices and girls, etc. But what happened was completely different. I passed out in the dot-com bust period when the entire IT industry was the floor. So I had two choices, either sit at home and sleep or go to some job which is there in the market. So I was in a double thought and spent that double thought was there for 6 months. I literally wasted 6 months. And then my father said, come on, I can't feed you. So you do something else proper in life. I then went to a company just as a network administrator. They did not pay me for 6 months. 6 months I just worked for free. Only because I want to learn something. It's just waiting in the home and just wasting your time. Just learn something useful in life. So I spent 6 months, learned a lot, and then went for a proper networking course, completed a lot of networking stuff, and then went to a HCL IT company. And from there, I moved to other company called Extreme Networks, and now I'm a technical leader at Cisco. So see, this is a perception, right? So you think that you are a good educated and you want to land up at a good plum job and work in a good IT company, but how life treats you or how situation you come across is completely different. So instead of having some preconceived notions or having mental block like this is what I want paradise, I don't want to die, or I have this in life, I want that, but keep your mind open, explore all possibilities, act according to what life gives you, and make use of whatever opportunities you get. Over to you, Toy Master.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nanda. Talking about life, death, and paradise. This reminds me about another speaker from a very well known. He was a champion speaker. He got the golden gavel from TMI. His name is Les Brown. He said something to the effect that most of us die at the age of 25 and don't get buried until we are 75, which means we are living a life of fear and not living to a true potential. Thank you for enlightening us about this. And the next speaker again is from the physical meeting. We're going to have our guest Vinod. Guest Vinod.
Previous topic.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Vinod.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
How are you doing this afternoon?
Sir?
How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing very well.
Thank you. Thank you. We are very happy to have you in our today's meeting.
Yes, sir.
And Vinod, let me remind you today that today is the World No Plastic Single-Use Bag Day. No Plastic Single-Use Bag Day.
Yes, sir. No plastic single-use bag day. Yes.
Yeah.
I need to speak about single-use bags advantages.
Question is, please hold for a second. My
Yes.
question is, you will have to convince me why I should not use single-use plastic bag. I repeat, why I should not use single-use plastic bag. Your time
Yes,
starts.
understood. Go ahead. That is, single-use plastic bags should not be used because they contain harmful toxins, chemicals, and other polyurethane materials that on contact with soil or ground doesn't go through the proper process of recycling or fermentation or dissolve into the soil. It's a better alternative to always use a bag with jute, cotton, or an expensive bag that will be carried forward for every place or point of use. For using a single-use plastic bag, how will it dissolve in the soil or reach its own place to the source place to be produced again? This everyone as a human being should reconsider every time we touch up single-use plastic. It's also called disposable plastic. Disposable plastic should be the last alternative, should be used for very emergency situations where you cannot carry forward with your work with a long-lasting bag. More than that, always these plastic bags need to go through recycling. Recycling a plastic bag is not at all an easy task. It should be going through the harmful chemical process, which in the turn releases chemicals to the environment. So only way to go forward is use a bag that can be used always again and again and again. Thank you. Please welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that brave and brilliant attempt. I really got a lot of information, especially those chemical terms that you use. Thank you very much, Santosh. And now we are going to some of the guests who are online. Can I have Calvin? Calvin, are you with us? Okay. I think we have lost contact with Calvin. Santosh Kumar.
Hello, Toastmaster Shrikant sir. Hi, this is Santosh.
Santosh. Thank you, Santosh, for joining us this afternoon. And here is your question, Santosh. Why do you think that we should be happy in our life? It's a very simple question. Please tell me why we should be happy in our life.
We need to be happy as our body requires a lot of positive energy, positive vibes, and also the most important like kind of a principle which in science, which even drives our lives, which is energy is neither created nor destroyed, but is only transferred from one form to the other. I would also want to add, energy is always transferred from one being to the other. So in order to be a positive person, we need to gain positive thoughts. Only that will materialize into positive, constructive action, which in turn will culminate in happiness, which we start radiating, and we create a positive, happy vibe ecosystem and a wonderful world, which will then become self-sustainable because there is only positivity with which we can only grow. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much for your attempt. Can we have Renuga Parameshwari, a guest online? Renuga Parameshwari. Can we have Partha? Well, can we have Satish Kumar, Toastmaster Satish Kumar?
Sorry, Shrikant, did you reach out to me?
Yeah, who is this?
Partha.
Partha. Good afternoon, Partha.
Good afternoon, Shrikant.
Yeah. Please give me 2 reasons or 2 valuable things that each one of us can follow to make this world a better place. A very simple thing that a common man like me, a layman like me can follow. 2 things that I need to follow to make this world a better place.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Well, earlier, if you had asked what we could do or what will actually make us feel happy, the normal answer would be have good health, have good wealth, and enjoy life. But with time, we realize those are probably extemporaneous answers. What really is making the world a better place is when we realize that everybody is here on an equal platform. Everybody has their own right to live, and we should always give the exact space for everyone to live here. It's not that we have to struggle. Sometimes people go with the Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. Yes, that is true probably for animals because they have limited resources, but man has actually matured. So we know that we don't have to fight for food. We don't have to fight for everything in life. We have to realize that we have people here in the world, and everybody is entitled to an equal opportunity. Of course, the effort varies, the results varies. That's always there. But remember, as an attitude, everybody is born equal. We should ensure that everybody is given an equal opportunity and be treated equally. And remember, people will treat you how you treat how you treat them, exactly the way you feel. Back to you, Table Topics Master Shrikant.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Partha Sarathi. Indeed, the world needs more of equality than seeing inequality in whatever we come across on a day-to-day life. Thank you very much. A very thought-provoking tip that you have given us. I'm sure that most of us will really appreciate what you have suggested and go about spreading this message of equality. Thank you once again, Toastmaster Partha Sarathi. Can we have Deepak Thompson, Toastmaster Deepak Thompson?
Hi, Shrikant. So, hi, Toastmaster Shrikant. Very good evening. Sorry, I couldn't turn on my video.
Deepak?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Deepak.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Toastmaster Shrikant. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Deepak, this is a question a little bit on the philosophical side because I know you are a person who is very religious and spiritual, I want you to share your views on this. The quote is, "The only thing I know is that I know nothing." I repeat, the only thing I know is that I know nothing. Deepak Thompson.
Oh, thank you. That's a very wonderful topic. I would say thank you for the topic, Toastmaster Shrikant. Well, during my fifth standard, one of my cousin brother, he went to US, America, and he was a computer engineer. Well, that was a time almost we all wanted to become a computer engineer at that time. So I wanted to become a computer engineer and I want to fly to America because I see flights flying in the sky, but I know nothing about it. How to at the age of at the fifth standard, I don't know anything about flying. I don't know anything about going or studying in a computer engineer. But all I know is I want to fly in a flight. So after some time, slowly I want to become a pilot. And slowly, after seeing my lot of homework given to me from my teachers, I hated the homework. And then I asked my parents, how come you are not doing your homework at home after 6 o'clock? Then I asked them, then I want to be a teacher. And similarly, and then after I grew up, and then I came to work, and then I avoided working at home and in the late evening. And now I see my parents, they are retired. And now I want to become a retired engineer. So you see that I know nothing what is in store for me in the future. But still, the thing I hold is I know nothing at all. But now I feel that I now want to retire myself as an engineer, but let's hold what future holds for me. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Shrikant.
Thank you very much, Deepak Thompson. That's humility that you have displayed. You have shown us that what we know is very limited, or rather we don't know anything. There's something to the effect in Tamil which says that what we know is just a handful, and what we don't know is wide and as deep and expansive as an ocean. Thank you very much. I think the timer would permit me one more table topic speaker before I wind up the session. Timer, can I have one more speaker because I don't want to be behind schedule?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So our last speaker, the honors of today's showstopper, is going to be Toastmaster Kartiga. Toastmaster Kartiga.
Sir, Kartika is not there with us.
Okay, Satish Kumar.
We have Toastmaster Pooja here.
Yeah, please. Toastmaster Pooja. Toastmaster Pooja, can you hear me?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are, Pooja.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking up the topic. And here is what I'm going to ask you about. They say the most wasted day is the one without laughter. I repeat, the most wasted day is the one without laughter. Toastmaster Pooja.
Okay. Thank you for the topic. So the topic is the most wasted day is the one without laughter. And I completely agree with this. In fact, just now we had a prepared speech session by Mr. Sharad where he was talking about that exercise is very important for our body and everything. Similarly, I feel that laughing every day. In fact, I've seen in beaches and in parks where people just, in the name of exercise, they just stand up and they just keep, raising their hands and laughing every day, just for no reason. So I think laughing is very important thing both for our mind and body. And this will help us also keep our body and also our mind fresh. It spreads happiness. So I completely agree with the statement that if without laughing a day is just like a day that we have wasted. This is what I feel, and that's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pooja. Laughter is indeed the best medicine. And with this, we are coming to the end of today's table topic session. I thoroughly enjoyed being your TT master. Each one of you who spoke in the TT session were brilliant and outstanding. And I'm sure that those who have not got the opportunity to speak this afternoon, maybe you will be lucky the next time around. Thank you once again, and keep practicing this impromptu speaking. You would be able to make an impact in others' life. With this, I hand over the control back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Geeta Shroff. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shrikant Putti Krishnan. That was a beautifully held to the table topic session. The topics were really inspiring and thought-provoking. That was really wonderful on your part. So friends, as we come, it's now time for us to move to the evaluation session. But before that, so let's understand how do we deal with the change. We just understood that change is the only constant. There's nothing that we can do with the change that is happening around us. But what we can do is, instead of considering ourselves as a victim to the change, let us consider the change as an opportunity for us to grow, to improve in our life, and to live our life in the fullest of potential. So how do we deal with it? Like as we decided, as it was suggested by our Toastmaster Abhilash, he said it's the way we look at the things. Instead of looking at a bottle as a half full or half empty, rather you can look at it as half full and half filled with air. So when we change the way we look at things, the things will improve. And instead of considering ourselves as the victim of circumstances, we will have enough energy to fight against whatever new is happening to us. And this also gives us an opportunity to know something more about ourselves. The more we learn that how much we are born resilient and what are the things that we can do. And when we do not venture into the unknown, we don't exactly understand what exactly we are capable of. It's totally believed that as human beings, we do not really understand our true potential. It is these small changes that come into our life. When we handle them in a right way, by embracing them, we know that how resilient we are in our lives. So before it is now time for us to go into an evaluation session. Today, our general evaluator will conduct the evaluation session wherein the speakers and the role players will get enough feedback as to the kind of changes they can incorporate in their speeches and in whatever they had done today, so that they can improve in whatever they are doing, or they can even excel in whatever they are doing. So with these few words, let me invite again distinguished Toastmaster Neena John to please conduct the evaluation session. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, you are on mute.
Madam, you are in mute.
Yeah, I'm trying to unmute. Yes, is it clear?
Yes.
All right. When we all talk in terms of joining Toastmasters, the first thing we are talking is what's in it for me. I know everyone was there, everyone did a fantastic speech, everyone is great, but how did I do? That's what we're really looking at the end of the day. And the most important part of Toastmasters is the fact that we give individual evaluations based on your projects and based on your project manuals. So today we have two excellent evaluators. Our first evaluator is Toastmaster DTM Venu, and he's going to evaluate Toastmaster Shruti's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster DTM Venu.
Good evening, Onada, and special good evening to my target speaker, Shruti. From my observation, some good speakers or the competent speakers or the champion speakers have some qualities that usually I admire. The first one is they are so confident that they can deliver their speeches extempore without any preparation. And second, they are very clear in their articulation. And third, Despite any difficulties or any problems or any nervousness, they can continue, they can complete their speeches. Today, I observed the 3 qualities in Toastmasters Shruti. Kudos to them. Toastmasters Shruti, you are a good speaker. You are a competent speaker. There is no doubt on that. But you may be wrapped with some obstacles that we can talk later. Today, I observed that your speech is very clear, articulation was very good, and you were struggling a little bit, still you were continuing your speech. I would understand that your conscious mind was saying that, Shruti, you are struggling, Shruti, you are struggling, but still you are moving forward. That's not easy to continue the speeches when you are struggling. That's really awesome. That for that quality, I would like to give another round of applause that, because it's not easy. And next, so people were watching you and you said that many things you were struggling in between, the nervousness, everything, but you completed your speech. Yes, I'm struggling, but I wanted to complete the speech. That's a good thing. So today I'm not going to talk about the content of your speech, as today's project objective specifically says about your voice modulation and the body language, how it helped you. And your voice modulation, as far as your voice modulation is concerned, it's good at this level, because I could find some intonation and inflection in your speech. That's really good, and that helped you to enhance your messages. And as far as body language is concerned, you use a lot of gestures. Okay, that's good. But how to, I said that you have been wrapped by some other, with some hurdles or some obstacles. That's how to remove it. The first and foremost is, you know that practice. It's apparently very clear that's lack of practice. So as Bruce Lee said, I fear not the person who practiced 10,000 kicks once. I fear the person who has practiced 1 kick 10,000 times. That's the power of practice. So the first and foremost, the problem you have is the practice. If you had practice, you would not have faced that kind of nervousness, the first thing. And second, that the body language, as well, you use many body language, but many body language gestures you use negatively. For example, you were showing yourself, showcasing your nervousness apparently by touching your nose and putting your hands, oh my God, like that. So you have avoided that. You know that you were struggling, but the audience, we didn't know that. So you showcase your nervousness. So you have avoided that. So my suggestion to you, you are a good speaker, but practice will bring out the best speaker out of that struggling speaker. So otherwise, you are a very good speaker. I am looking forward to a lot of speeches from Shruti. Thank you for the opportunity. Back to you, gentle evaluator.
Thank you so much, DTM Venu. We move on now to our second speaker, Toastmaster Sharad, and his evaluator, DTM Parthasarthi. Over to you, DTM Partha.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nina. Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters, and dear Sharad. Sharad, you started with imagine. And when anyone starts their speech with imagine, people start imagining right away. That's a powerful word, and your usage of the word imagine literally caught my imagination. I really love the way you used your voice variations to show the grandson and the grandmother, because they were 2 different people who were experiencing different emotions. The way you used it for the grandson and the grandmother was very well exemplified. I also love the word play, where you used the metaphor. The drug which you need is exercise. That was a wonderful way where you said the drug is compared to exercise, and that's what will keep us going in our lives. But beyond all this, your speech is a speech to inspire. And what really made this wonderful speech to inspire was the content itself, because this was something which I could rate right away. And that's something I also want to tell people. Yes, please do exercise. And you gave me a lot of tips on how we can encourage people to do exercise. You said take care of your life and your body, because we have a limited time in this world. And you told us why it matters. And not only that, importantly, you practice what you preach. Most of the times, whenever we tell, it's always easy for people to give advice. But here, you had actually practiced And that's why you are teaching people and you have seen the difference, what it makes to your life. Last but not the least, the way you called for action, have a 20 minutes of physical activity. Make sure that we had some takeaway from your speech. Yes, we learned the importance of physical activity, but how was it important, what we should do next. We call for action, 20 minutes of physical activity in a world of difference. How would you want to make this speech something which people would do an action right away, or would take more content out of it, or would be able to remember this particular speech? Your speech did have a few grammatical errors now and then. To avoid grammatical errors, it's a pretty simple option in the initial stages. What you have to do, as Toastmaster himself recommends, is to write down your entire speech, type it out as a matter of fact, and use a simple editor, word editor like Microsoft Word, and make sure you remove all the grammatical errors and practice with the correct usage of grammar. Next is, you were talking about physical inactivity. And suddenly you went on to tell what are the benefits of physical activity. From that transition, I thought it could have been a little bit smoother, because that way we would know that, okay, this is what is happening, and now we can look forward to what needs to be done. That transition could have been a little bit smoother. And you had a lot of points for us to take. Now, when you give us a lot of points, for example, you said dopamine, adrenaline, how all this physical activity gives benefits, and you also said etc., and list goes on. Now, when you say the list goes on, there are two things. We might think either you probably forgot those lists, or you have too many to tell there, or which you cannot tell there. Now, that gives a different opinion for us. Now, make it more specific, because we want to know what are the specific points. So have your number of points very specific. Overall, this was something which I practiced, and I also want people to follow that. And so you gave me more points on how we could do this particular speech itself, and not only speech, to follow whatever you said. Sarath, continue to imagine whatever you feel, and the way you tell people will make the people inspire and follow you. Looking forward to be in person for your next speech, to experience your next speech. Thank you so much, and back to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, DTM Partha, for that excellent evaluation. We move on now to our other team. May I request our timer, Toastmaster Naveen, to deliver his report.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Leena Janmam. Toastmaster Tarun, Sergeant at Arms, time taken 1 minute 12 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Venu Nilagandan, as a presiding officer, time taken 1 minute 58 seconds. Toastmaster Abhilash for ESCOM installation, time taken 28 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan, as a presiding officer, time taken 7 minutes 24 seconds. Toastmaster Geeta, the Toastmaster of the day, time taken 4 minutes 33 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Neena John for the general evaluator briefing, time taken 2 minutes 31 seconds. For tag briefing, timer Toastmaster Navinraj, time taken 58 seconds. Accounter Toastmaster Kalvat, time taken 48 seconds. Grammarian Toastmaster Guru Ayyappan, time taken 56 seconds. Court Master Toastmaster Ramani, time taken 1 minute 24 seconds. Idiom Master Toastmaster Rishi, time taken 59 seconds. And Toastmaster Geeta, Toastmaster of the day, time taken 4 minutes 13 seconds. And distinguished Toastmaster Venu Nilagandan for briefing evaluation objectives of the prepared speaker, time taken 40 seconds. Toastmaster Shruti as the prepared speaker, time taken 6 minutes 4 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Parthasarathi for briefing prepared speakers objectives, time taken 43 seconds. Toastmaster Sarath, time taken 7 minutes 13 seconds. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Geeta, time taken 3 minutes 31 seconds. For table topic introduction, table topic master, Toastmaster Srikanth, time taken 3 minutes 21 seconds. For table topic speakers, Toastmaster Abhilash, 2 minutes 1 seconds. Toastmaster Nanda, 2 minutes 2 seconds. Guest Vinod, 1 minute 27 seconds. Guest Santosh Kumar, time taken 58 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Parthasarathi, 1 minute 23 seconds. Toastmaster Deepak Thompson, 1 minute 24 seconds. Toastmaster Pooja Jain, 59 seconds. And Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Geeta, time taken 2 minutes 25 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Neena John, general evaluator, time taken 52 seconds. For evaluation, distinguished Toastmaster Venu Nilagandan, time taken 3 minutes 29 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Parthasarathi, time taken 3 minutes 30 seconds. Over to you, general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Neena Janman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naveen Raj, for that excellent timer report. We move on now to our counter report. Toastmaster Kalwat online, please. Over to you, sir.
So good evening once again, Toastmaster the day, Toastmasters and my dear guest. I really appreciate Toastmaster Sharath. I know him from his day one. He has transformed exceptionally well. And what we normally do most of the time, we try to translate our mother tongue language to English. So without our knowledge or control, we used to have ya, etc. So only the thing, practice and the consciousness make us to avoid these filler words or the sounds. Toastmaster Geeta, as a TMOD today, she used the 3+ R's. Toastmaster Ramani, as a court master today, she used 3 R. Speaker 1, Toastmaster Shruti, has used 3+ R. Santosh, PT speaker 4, used 3+ R. And Toastmaster Deepak, speaker 6, he used 2 R. And but and will are his favorite words. Toastmaster Pooja, speaker 7, used 3+ R's. So these are the people who are used R's. Other than whoever is not used, they are actually for us. Thank you so much for your.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kalwat. And with that, we move on to our grammar guru. Toastmaster Guru, your grammarian report, please.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now it is time for me to submit my report. Today's word of the day is used by our General Evaluator DTM Nina John and Toastmaster Shruti. And I found more good usages than bad incorrect usages. So first of all, thanks to all speakers for giving me for making my job so easier. So some of the good usages, some topics like a quote, so time is money, cool as a cucumber, unknown path, being underconfident, fascinatingly, artistic expression, sign of good, language is random, grudgy thing, distinguished features, ecstatic and blissful, responsibility, not a choice, electrifies our focus, refresh and replenish, mind, heart, and soul, healthy, fear of failure, intuition, preconceived notion, preconceived judgment, open mind, change your line by changing your thoughts, interconnected, double thoughts, plum job, then positive energy and mind. What is in it for me? Just for no reason, impact in one's life, resilient, competency speakers, exemplary, articulation, conscious mind, influx, apparently, last but not least, rightly used, and call for action. And so there is not much incorrect usages. So thank you all the speakers for making my job easier. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you so much to my team of evaluators and my tag team for a great job. And let me also give in my report as general evaluator. First of all, in terms of timing, we were a little off in terms of starting, but I think we managed to make up the time. And I think I would like to especially congratulate Toastmaster of the Day, Geeta Shroff, for making sure that the meeting stayed on time, even though there could have been a couple of diversions here and there. In terms of protocol, I would like to mention that since we had today a business session, which was not in the agenda, that should have been taken at the end of the meeting and should preferably have been announced by the presiding officer then. Meanwhile, so that is one part of it. So we should, we always start with a sergeant at arms, then we have a presiding officer, then we have all of those things. So I think that is the way it should be done. But the actual installation was an excellent job. Kudos to our radio area director, Abhilash, for this great way of conducting his installation. Very smoothly done. All the officers nice to see everyone, whether they were online or offline. So that is one. And I would also appreciate the fact that the officers all came in formal dress, and a formal dress code makes such a difference to the quality of the meeting, the ambience of the meeting, the physical ambience of physical space that is good. Great to see the officers doing that. So please continue to do that for our milestone meetings. Excellent way to start the new year. And again, congratulations and welcome to the new XCOM. Looking forward to all your things and all the activities that you have. By and large, time was maintained throughout. In terms of table topics, I would like to mention and reiterate the point that I've been making several times. First, preference should always be given to members. Second, preference should be given to non-role players. Role players should be called only if there are no others from the members. Third, guests should be invited, but they should be asked if they are willing to volunteer or not. And only if they are willing do we ask them to speak. Secondly, in terms of the actual table topics, I would suggest for table topic speakers, we do not have introductions. We do not have a build-up because one, the audience gets too much of expectations. Secondly, the speaker has too much pressure on them for delivering it. Thirdly, you have a very unbiased or a very biased audience. So make sure that your introductions are just Toastmaster of the day or whatever it is. And the table topics themselves should be crisp, concise, and clear. Repeated twice for the benefit of the guests and the audience, and delivered as fast as possible. Transitions were good, and that's a good part of it. Otherwise, I think the meeting went off very well. I'm glad to see it is a very seamless hybrid meeting with both online and offline synergy absolutely going together. Congratulations to the technical team and the physical team and everybody. And with that, I am handing you back to Toastmaster of the day, Madam Toastmaster Geeta Shroff.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for conducting this general evaluation part really very well. Thank you so much. Friends, we are having the voting screen on the screen. So kindly vote for the best speaker. So while the polling session is going on, I think it's now time for me to hand over the control to the presiding officer. So with this, I have Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. Could you please take back the control? Yes, until then you can vote for the best role player also.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Geeta. Yes, we had a very excellent meeting today. Though we had a little bit extra time to start the meeting, as we didn't start as per the meeting, but I think we are coming to the end at the right time. So though we didn't begin on time, it's going to close on time. And kudos to the team who helped us to set up this hybrid meeting as well. So we have set up 3 cameras, right? So right now, and that's working fine, this environment. So before, so I just wanted to recognize, I missed to do it in the initial, but it's better not late. So I want to recognize the presence of our distinguished Toastmaster Partha for accepting to be an evaluator. It's thank you so much for gracing this club, gracing this meeting, and taking your time to evaluate one of the speaker. And your presence is more important for us. Thank you so much. And then our distinguished Toastmaster Neena Jan, the founding member of this club, the past district mentor pool chair, DTM Neena Jan, ma'am. Thank you for being here and also taking a general evaluator role, because your evaluation means a lot, because you observe a lot. Especially, we decided to come in a formals and you recognize it. At least you're happy for that. And our distinguished Toastmaster Vinay, the past C4 area director, for coming up and also taking up the evaluation role and taking the presiding officer role in the absence of Abhirami. For reasons she couldn't join, but we always the last resort or last help, emergency help, we call for DTM Venu is there for us, and today also he was there. And thank you. And finally, I want to recognize the presence of our area C1 director, Toastmaster Abhilash. Thank you, Abhilash. Yes. I'm sorry, as a token, I just want to recognize Abhilash. Please, come here, Abhilash. Let's begin this meeting with the recognition from this club for our area C1 director. We are actually very proud of having you as the area C director and being part of this club. Thank you so much. And coming to this meeting, I want to recognize the first time role players. And today, after a long time, we had this idiom master, quote master. And thanks to Navin for organizing that. The first timer like the quote master, and the idiom master. Sorry, I can't give the ribbon to the online idiom player, but today quote master. And the first timer today is Rishi for taking up this idiom master role. Finally, we had the ribbon. Thank you, Rishi.
Toastmaster Ramani is also first time doing quote master.
And then I want to recognize Toastmaster Shruti for completing her level 1 today. Then while we are waiting for the results, let's invite guests for the feedbacks. We have one guest here. I think we had already. Do you want to share something? Yeah, if you have anything, yeah, you've been here. Yes. Yeah.
Share about the meeting, total meeting.
Yes.
As an overview of what went for the past 2 hours or what went through, I'll tell me the whole session was totally productive. I listened happily to each one of your speeches with crystal clarity of this equipments delivering each moment, what the intention of each of you, what you want to speak. At the same time, new type of idioms and metaphors being delivered. I'm really grateful for this meeting, for being a guest member and listening to this. I thank you all for this opportunity, and I like to make myself present again for future meetings. Thanks.
You can reach out to our new VPM, Toastmaster Sarath, for any membership details. For any guests on the online who want to share a feedback. Toastmaster Santosh, you want to share the feedback?
Hi, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I was able to listen to a lot of interesting talk, and I really hope I'll be there for the next session, probably in person with the formal office wear, so that it really enhances overall learning. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Do you have any other guests you want to share? Okay. So DTM Partha, we welcome you once again. We want to have your opinion, feedback about this club. I know you know a lot about this club more than I know, but you can also share your feedback about today's meeting and the overall performance.
And I did really love today's meeting. It was glad to be back with CTM to be frank, I wanted to be in person, and that was my original plan. But incidentally, I did have a throat infection, and as I told you, I do consider the benefit of others more than my own benefit. So I wanted to ensure we didn't have a situation where you would not be happy that I was there. So I wanted to, so I had to come online. But I'm glad we have this option of hybrid meeting where we can switch to online in case of a situation like this. So glad we had it. And as distinguished Toastmaster Nina said, it was a very seamless meeting that we had, even though it was a hybrid meeting. Normally, there's a lot of challenges in a hybrid meeting, but today I think it was a very seamless one. Glad I'm back to our Anate club after a long time.
Thank you, DTM Partha. You can visit some next time when we have a hybrid meeting as well. Not just hybrid, you can visit all our meetings.
Sure.
Thank you so much for coming. I think now we are coming to end. Like it's time to announce the results today, and fortunately we have the ribbons as well for some of the winners. Let's see if we are going to share the ribbons with the audience in the meeting room or it's going to be online. So to begin with, let's start with the best tag player between timer, accounter, and grammarian. And today, the best among all these three, the best tag player is our timer Naveen for taking up the role of the last one. And the best player between quote and idiom master, it's our Toastmaster Rishi here as the idiom master. And the best, the role player between the Toastmaster of the Day, General Evaluator, and Table Topic Master is none other than one who explained us about changes. Our Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Geeta. Thank you, ma'am. And now come to the important point, award session. The best table topics goes to our area 7 director, Toastmaster Abhilash. He knows it very well. Thank you. And the best evaluator today is our distinguished Toastmaster, Venu Neelakandan. Thank you. Thank you so much. And the last part is the best speaker today. It's none other than our Toastmaster, Sarath. Thank you. So with that, I think we are coming to the end of this meeting. I formally adjourn the meeting to the next week, same time. It will be an online meeting. Thank you. We can continue our informal session. I request to stop the video recording as well. Okay.